Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worldwide ministry of Reverend John D. Couch. Reverend Couch is considered by many to be one of America's greatest preachers. He has traveled the world preaching the Word of God with power and deliverance. Reverend Couch says, "I do not preach sermons. I change lives through the Word of God." Many call him bishop, apostle, evangelist, pastor, but many are proud just to call him friend. And now, Reverend John D. Couch, known to his friends around the world as the Rev.
Hello, my friend. Greetings and welcome from the beautiful state of Tennessee, right here in the beautiful hills of Mountain City, Tennessee. I don't know where it's snowing yet or not, but it feels like it. This weather is just hot one day and cold the next. It's good for you to join us tonight, and those of you that will join later on by Facebook and other forums. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. I have some very special announcements to make tonight. I want you to listen very close. I have next Monday night a very, very special program. We're going to put a lot of work into it, like we always do, but I want to tell you it's going to be a very special, special program next Monday night. So we want you to stay tuned and listen and be with us. And we have some great convention notices. And listen, you may not know this, but convention is only about 90 days away. You need to make plans now. We're going to have a Revival Fire Camp meeting August 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 2017 at the Holiday Inn Convention Center in Bristol, Virginia. Now, Holiday Inn gives us a special rate of $75 plus tax. We also have gone and picked out Days Inn. Now, they didn't redo this thing. They tore it down inside, just destroyed it, went in and put all new equipment, everything in it's new from the walls to the ceiling. It's a beautiful room. They're letting us have it. This is a little less than half price, or less than half price. It's $50 a night plus tax. Now they do have a pool. They do have continental breakfast. They have elevators. If you want a top floor, you can just take an elevator up. It's a beautiful, beautiful building on a beautiful landscape hill just right over from the Holiday Inn. It's probably 3-minute drive. It's at exit 7, and I want to give you some phone numbers. It's at exit 7 off of Interstate 81 on Old Airport Road. You actually, when you get off to come to Holiday Inn, to the exit 7 to our camp meeting at the Holiday Inn, you're just 2 or 3 buildings down from it. So they're going to give us special rates at $50 a night plus tax. That's for 4 people. And we'd be glad to have you come and stay there with us. I'm going to give you this number. It's Days Inn, Bristol, Virginia, 1-276-669-9353. Ask for our special rates for Reverend John David Couch, and ask for Bonnie or Kim. They'll be sure that they know exactly what's going on and one of them's there most of the time. So that's Bristol, Virginia, 1-276-669-9353. These are beautiful rooms to sit up on a little hill, and you got beautiful views. It's just right over from the Cracker Barrel. It's right over from all the big restaurants, and it's not even a mile from the hotel we'll be having our camp meeting at the Holiday Inn. For those of you that want to stay at the Holiday Inn, it is $75 a night plus tax. But the Days Inn is give us a special, special rate. These are very special. You go anywhere in this area and try to find a room for that, you're going to be very shocked. Holiday Inn gives us a very special $75, and that's a big reduction rate. But the $50, it'll save you money. 4 of you can be there. Let me say this about our camp meeting. We don't charge registration fees. A lot of people charge you when you come to a camp meeting. They charge you $60, $70, $100 just to register per couple. And we don't charge that. You can come in any meeting you want to, and you can just come in and find you a seat. We'd appreciate you coming. Make your plans now. Don't put it off. These rooms will go really fast. I guarantee you they will. So please take that number down. August 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Remember, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning at 10:30. And then Saturday afternoon, our special 2:30 meeting where we minister to everybody. I have thought several times to make it easier on myself, I would cut that afternoon meeting out. But I found out many years ago, you go to camp meetings, you go to conventions, and you always get the word. In most of these places, you get a lot of word, but nobody takes time to care for you. I realize when you come to these camp meetings, you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of energy, you take your time and your energy to come spend with us. And I want to make sure before you leave this camp meeting that you have definitely have a word from the Lord. You need to have a word from the Lord from the time that you realize that the words of the prophet will change your life. It doesn't matter what you're going through, it can literally change your life. This camp meeting is going to be very special. Reverend Steve Warren will be with us doing the singing for us. We're expecting people from everywhere. Make your reservations now. Don't even put it off. Just go and call this number, 1-276-669-9353, and go ahead and reserve your room. Let us know how many we're going to have. And so we want you to get involved in this and make sure, just make sure that you really, really get your camp meeting plans already made. Also, I'd like to say we'll be in Dallas May the 18th, starting on a Sunday night with W.V. Grant in downtown Dallas at Eagles Nest Cathedral, where Pastor W.V. Grant and his wife Brenda are there. We'll be there starting May the 18th, so you might want June the 18th. I'm sorry, it's June the 18th. Be sure you make plans for that great June meeting, and we will be there for a week, and we will like to have you come out and be with us. I'll be putting it on my Facebook, and I'll be putting it on my website. Now, all this information that I just gave you concerning our camp meeting will be on the website. It'll be on there probably this evening or later on tonight. So I want to thank you for joining us. I have something very special I want to talk to you about. Now, this is a difficult subject for me because I don't understand it. So if I have to take time to get my mind flowing, you just give me the time, okay? If you have your Bibles, I'm reading out the Songs of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 6. Set me a seal upon thy heart, and a seal upon thy arm, for love is as strong as death. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave, and the coals thereof are coals of fire, which have a most venomous flame. I'm going to talk to you about a subject, and like I say, I don't understand this, but the Lord spoke to my spirit, so I want to talk to you about jealousy. Many people don't understand jealousy is never a form of love. It is a form of insecurity. If you can think of anything worse than death, the Bible said that would be jealousy. All through the Bible, we relate to men and women that were jealous of one another. Saul loved David like a son, but he had one problem with him. He was jealous of him. David had the heart of Saul in his hand. When spirits, evil spirits from the Lord, the Bible said an evil spirit from the Lord troubled Saul. And the only way he could get help and hope was by David playing the harp. God used the man that Saul despised at times. He literally wanted to kill him. He really wanted to destroy him. But this young man, David, that they found in a shepherd's field, a man that was nobody in his eyes of his father. When they took a young man to the shepherd field in the old day, they took him there because there was two kind of people they used to tend sheep. They used the very old that they wanted to get rid of, or they used the young that they never thought would amount to anything. And Saul was a king. The people made Saul a king. And this king had the right and the power to do whatever he wanted to do. But when he met David, there was a love connection. They cared about one another. And when Saul would have evil spirits, the Bible said evil spirits, and you need to think about this. Evil spirits, when Saul turned his back on God and disobeyed the prophet and didn't do what God told him to do about killing the king and the cattle, the Bible said an evil spirit from the Lord was sent to him. That evil spirit bothered him. And the only relief he could get was from the man he was jealous of. And David would begin to play that harp, and Saul would begin to retain all of the mind that he had. Jealousy was so strong in Saul that it almost made him lose his mind. Every time he looked at David, though he loved him, yet he was jealous of him. So many people are so jealous. So many of you think that people hate you because of who you are. No, they don't hate you because of who you are. They're jealous of who you are. And instead of working and applying themselves to be what they can be, it's easier to be jealous than it is to get busy. I've never understood jealousy. When I look people, men and women, say, well, she's so jealous of me, she can't let me out of her sight. That's not love. That's insecurity. If you date, if you're around a person that literally is so jealous of you that when someone just speaks to you, they're upset, you are with the wrong person. And that person cannot change. That person that has that jealousy, it consumes them. It's worse than the grave. I see mothers and fathers jealous because the son loves the mother more, the daughter loves the father more. And I just think how horrible that is, that you can't relate to the real love. When Glenn and I first got married, and we'll be married 53 years. Now remember this, 53 years, May the 19th, we will be married 53 years. When I first met her, and my wife's always been a beautiful woman. I've always said I would never marry an ugly woman. And I would never do that. I have too much pride to be caught with an ugly woman. But people have always, I've had men come to me and say, I'm going to do the best thing I can to take your wife away from you. And I would always just laugh and think to myself, you can't do that. There's no way you're going to do that. And I never went and got mad at her because they said, when you're with someone that is so jealous that every time you speak to someone of the opposite sex, they're upset, that don't show you how much they love you. That shows you how crazy they are. If you can't trust a woman, if you can't trust a man, then you don't need to be with them. Well, I trusted him one time. Well, then I got news for you. If he let you down one time, you better watch out. There's another time around the corner. I see preachers all the time saying, well, I had a bigger crowd than he had, or I had received a bigger offering, or my altar service was bigger. That's just jealousy. And God can't use you, a jealous vessel. Jesus never one time got jealous of the other disciples. He mentored them so they would become greater. He mentored them so they could see the understanding. I have all power. But he said, don't you worry, when I leave, I'm going to give you all power both in heaven and in earth. There's no reason for me to be jealous of you. I see singers that come to church and somebody sings one song, they got to sing two. It's not because they're good. It's because they're jealous. Jealousy is crueler than the grave. Now you think of that. When you see your loved ones dying and put down in that ground, and you weep and you cry, you think when somebody gets jealous, the Bible said that is crueler than that grave. It's darker than that grave. All my life, people have told me, said, well, I wish I could preach like you, blah, 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 blah. And they would get jealous. You don't know the doors that have closed in my face because the pastor would tell me, you can't come back in here anymore because my people love you too much. We were in Atlanta, Georgia one time and had massive crowds. The pastor, I thought he was really pleased. And he'd give us a big party, told us how wonderful it was and how we'd be back. And one of the gentlemen took us to the airport the next morning. And I said, well, next time we come back, he said, Reverend, please understand this. You will never be back invited back to this church. And I said, why? He said, because you outdrew my pastor. You had bigger crowds and you had better meetings. And he's a jealous man, and you will never be back in that church. That's been 40 some years ago probably, and I've never been back in that church. Because people don't care if they're jealous of you. Watch how this hurt. All I did was go in to have a great revival. Left people in the church. Had people blessed. Had people healed. Left people coming in that had never been to that church. But because he was jealous of me, he would rather not have new people coming in. That's cruel. That's a horrible thing. It never affected me because I went on to my next meetings. But it affected him. It affected his church. I was in a church one time, and Pastor Steve Warren had been there right before me. And you all know how I feel about Steve Warren. I call him my second son. And when I go in, this pastor said, and Pastor Steve knew this pastor I was preaching for. When I went in, he said, you think Steve Warren's a pretty good singer? I said, no, I think he's a great singer. So he said, well, I'll show you what singing is. So he got up that morning and sung 3 or 4 of the worst, most horrible songs in the world, patting himself on the back because he was jealous. What are you jealous about? If you see someone with a nicer car, is it going to help you if you're jealous because they have a nice car? Or why don't you get busy so God can promote you and you can have the nice thing that you're upset about? Jealousy doesn't help you at all. In a relationship, if one person is jealous, everybody is miserable. If you ladies put on a nice dress or a nice outfit and you look gorgeous and your husband or your boyfriend or the gal you're dating takes you out, and he said everybody was looking at you, well, why does he think you dress like that? Don't you understand that you wanted to look nice? I don't think you should be penalized because you dress nice and look nice. I don't think you should be jealous because somebody looked at you. I've always said this, I would never have a woman nobody else would look at. I wouldn't have a dog nobody didn't want to pet. Some of you don't understand that real love don't care about jealousy. Real love don't say, I'm really upset because she said, he said, they said. Jealousy is crueler than the grave. When you hear preachers preaching, and some of you people cause this, you'll hear one preacher preaching, you're going to say, oh man, he preached better than you did. I don't care who preached better than I did. It's not my job to out-preach him. It's my job to preach my message. And I don't think many can do my messages the way I do my messages. I have no reason to be jealous. God has opened the windows of heaven and poured out blessings on me that I cannot contain. Everywhere I go, God has given me honor. Everywhere I go, God has given me respect. Every bishop I've ever had, I was always there for them. I remember Dr. D.L. Brownie from Des Moines, one of my best friends. He told me, he said, Reverend, said, you've always respected me. The reason people respect me is because I've always respected other people. I didn't go in and try to take Dr. D.L. Brownings's Kingsway Fellowship away from him. Even when he told me, he said, Rev, I want to put you in an office. I said, I don't want an office. If you put me in an office, I quit coming, because I respected him and because he was so elegant. He was so wonderful at the job he did. I never met a man that could love people of all walks of life. He taught me to do that. He helped instruct me to do that. Why would I be jealous of the thing in him that I saw, that I loved? I became better at it. I believe that when people get jealous, they destroy their own images. They destroy their own self. I see people get jealous over a piece of jewelry. I've had people say, well, I never had jewelry like that. Well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It amazes me the way men and women's relationships are today. First of all, you never see people dress nice. Hardly ever see it. Go downtown, it's a pair of jeans and an old shirt with somebody's name across it. And you're too embarrassed to read the names because you look at them and you think, you should have put that somewhere else, you know. But jealousy is crueler than the grave. When you get jealous, whatever you do in your life and someone's better at it, you're never going to grow by being jealous at them. It's like the little kid that's 6 months old and is throwing a temper tantrum. Nobody likes that. That's all the baby knows to do. Some of us have been taught it's all right to be jealous. I hear people say all the time about Donald Trump, oh, I don't like him because he's wealthy. Well, why don't he go on welfare just so you love him? That's ridiculous. People say, well, this guy over here, I don't know how he got his money. You don't care how he got it, but you're jealous of it. And I hear people all the time saying, oh, I don't want to live in a big old house. But if somebody bought them a big old house and let them move into it, they're jealous of the people that's in there. They won't talk to the people that's in there because they're jealous. They wish they had it, but they're ashamed to admit it. When jealousy begins to come into your spirit, you're the only one that can change it. I see so much jealousy in the ministry. I see so much comparison in the ministry. I see so many people that never stop to consider, I want to be better. I don't want to be jealous of what this one's got or what that one's got. I don't want to be jealous over here. I want to put my heart centered on God. Some of you that are watching, you spent a lifetime with a man or a woman that's so jealous of you that every time you're afraid by now you don't even answer the phone. You don't have any friends. You don't go out with anybody because you don't want to fight. What kind of love is that? What kind of love is that really? What kind of love? That's more captivity. That's more captivity than it is love. When you begin to be jealous of one another, it's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. I told you I'm not good at this subject, but I'm trying. So many people are jealous of things that you are. And the people that criticize you the most, it's because of jealousy. I used to tell my wife all the time, I'd go somewhere and meet a pastor's wife and meet the pastor and preach, and she'd fly in, or we'd meet later on, and the pastor's wife was just all upset at my wife. And I finally told her one day, I said, baby, this look like this. If you look like she did, and you look like you do, you'd be jealous too. Some of you people have spent all your life not understanding how beautiful you are, how kind you are, how generous you are, what a nice person you are, and other people being jealous of that, and you thought it was you. You can't help people from being jealous of you. It's like rape. Rape doesn't have anything to do with where a woman's pretty or where she's ugly. It's just a spirit. And people get the spirit of jealousy. They love to make people's heads beat together trying to figure out. Most of the problems you're going through right now don't have anything to do with the devil. Somebody got jealous of you. Or you got jealous of somebody. When jealousy begins to take over your life, excuse me, then you need to understand that you're the only one that can change that. I must tell you this, and I must tell you honestly, I have never in my lifetime seen anybody I was jealous of. I've seen preachers. I remember when I first met Brother H. Richard Hall, and his gift was so precise. It just blew my mind. And I thought, and the Spirit came to me and said, well, look what he can do. You can't do that. I said, yes, I can. I just haven't got there yet. And I kept working on my gift. I kept working on my gifting. And I'd love to get around him and just watch him and figure it. And I watched him because his mind worked so vast. And I'd watch him. And I never one time, I'm not going back to his meetings because I can't do that, so I don't like it. Half the people that don't go to your meetings, preachers, they don't come because they don't like you. They come because they're jealous of you. I've had so many preachers say, well, preaching comes easy to you. Yeah, because I'm not jealous. And I was called. Many are called if you're chosen. Some of you think you're chosen, but you're not. When I get around great men and women of God, I'm the most silent person you'll ever meet. Not because I'm intimidated and not because I'm jealous, but because I want to learn what they have to teach me. I have been blessed to be around some of the greatest men of God that ever walked. And they have put me in their arms and put me under their wings and protected me. And I never one time got jealous. I remember one time after we went in the ministry, we lost our home to a tornado in the other end of Tennessee. It just destroyed that home. We had nothing left. All we had was the clothes on our back and the ones that we had in the suitcase. That was all we had left. And we went for 5 or 6 years, and we traveled so much that we hardly even knew that, but we didn't have a home. We'd go from one hotel to the next. And in that 7 years, we were one of the most magnificent, beautiful homes you had ever seen in your life. They were picturesque. Everywhere you looked, they were just beautiful. Beautiful decks, beautiful floors. And hell would say, well, you need to get something like this. And my wife and I would say, that's beautiful. We love it. But we never left and said, oh, God, give us that. We need that. We're better Christians than they are. We never let that jealousy take away the blessings. See, jealousy takes away your blessings. And there came a time when a man told me, I've got you 7 acres of land here, almost 8. I'm going to build you a house, blah, 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 blah. And now we have the blessings of God on us. And I've literally had people come through my home and walk out the door and never come back again because of jealousy. When you begin to understand what jealousy does, you're a mother, you're a father. Let me talk to you. How many times have you seen your children get jealous of each other? They begin to get jealous of one another. Well, he's got this and I don't have it, and she's got that and I don't have it. What a horrible, horrible thing to do. What a horrible, horrible thing. We are all gifted in certain areas. Now I have a sister that just plays organs and pianos and everything she picks up. And I have another sister, my oldest sister. That woman plays the piano like a concert pianist. I can't hit a note on anything. I've never been jealous of them because they could do that. I would always use them to accomplish me when I was singing, when I was in their area. So I used their gifting with my gifting. But I never got jealous. And I never said, oh, I don't know why I didn't get that. I wonder. Well, I probably could have gotten it had I developed it. Remember, I started playing the organ one time, and I got to where I was pretty decent on it. Played a couple times in churches, and I thought, this ain't for me. I don't want to do that. I want to preach. I don't want to, I could have done both, but I just didn't want to. But how many times do you see people? I see people, you drive up in a car, and they're jealous of it. You put on a nice suit or a nice pair of shoes, they're jealous of you. And the first thing you know, if you don't watch yourself, you let their jealousy make you knock everything back a notch. You won't wear that extra ring, or you won't put on that extra little bit of makeup, or you won't fix your hair just exactly right. Or you'll find yourself saying, well, I don't want to offend them. Go ahead, offend them. Everybody needs to be offended every once in a while. That's what's wrong with the world. Nobody gets offended. Everybody ought to be offended every once in a while. I'm offended when people kill babies, so that bothers me. And they're offended when we don't kill them, so let's just let it level out. Quit living your life because some jealous person said, if you, then you'd stop doing that. They were just jealous. They were just pure, downright jealous. If you lay hands on sick people and they get healed, somebody's going to be upset about that. Now, the person that got healed is not going to be upset. I will never forget. I was in Maryland one time, and I was holding a revival, and another guy was 3 or 4 miles away from me, and he was holding a revival. This lady said she'd had strep throat for months, not weeks, but months, and they couldn't get rid of it. So she went to this guy's meeting one night, and she said, he came up and he said, can I do what I want to do? I said, yeah. I said, well, he just took his tongue and took it to her tongue. And she said, I got healed. The doctor went to the doctor. But his pastor got all upset about it. Oh, I don't believe in that. He closed the man's meeting out. Been going to that pastor's church for a year. Nobody got her healed. The pastor didn't close the man out because of this. He closed the man out because he was jealous that he couldn't get the job done. I will never forget Rex Huffman, one of my best friends, and never had a jealous bone in his body. And he'd have me in his church in Elkton, Maryland. We went every 3 months for 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And about the second or third time I went up there, I didn't know everything going on. And the first time we were there, I took him to the hotel, and he looked at me and he said, Reverend, can I ask you a question? I said, yes. He said, did you bring me over here to give me money? Because if you did, you won't never be back in my church. Well, I said, no, Pastor. I had brought him there for that intent. But I've been going back about a year. He finally stood me up in front of his congregation one night and he said, I want to show Reverend Cal something. He said, how many of you people started coming to this church in one of his revivals? There was people stood up all over the auditorium. And he said, that's the reason that I have you in here. You bring people in that I can't get. And while they give you $100 while you're here, they pay me tithes every Sunday morning. They bless me every day of the week, and you get a measly $100 off of them. And he said, son, the reason churches can't grow is because there's so much jealousy in them. Have you ever noticed in a church how the little cliques get together? This was jealous over here, this one's jealous over here. And they just talk and complain. And they're jealous of one another. Well, the pastor walked by me and didn't speak. Well, he walked by me and spoke twice. And there's the jealousy. And the first thing you know, this one goes that way and that one goes that way. Do you not realize the damage that's been done to you because of jealous people? Do you not realize the damage that has been done to you because you have let down because someone got jealous of you? Do you not understand that jealousy is cruel on both ends? If my wife was a jealous person, we would not be married 53 years. Women are always coming up hugging me. They're always calling me. There's more women call me on my phone than there is men. And I have very, very close relationships with a lot of these women. And if she was a jealous woman and said, well, why do you have so many relationships with women? Well, because there's more women in church than there is men, Jack. I don't know where you've noticed that or not. Next time you go to church, kind of look around you. See how many women there, see how many men are there. God is trying to tell us we can't do anything until we get rid of the jealousy. If you have children, some of them are really jealous over one another. Women get jealous over one another. Well, her hair didn't look good today. Her hair looked too good. You don't understand. It's crueler than the grave. You think death's bad? Try to live with jealousy. Try to live with jealous people. Try to live with jealous people. Jealous people are insecure people. And you can't deal with insecure people because their insecurities destroy them. And if you allow them, those insecurities will destroy you. So when you find out someone's mad at you, if you get right down to the nitty gritty, it's because they're jealous. Saul didn't have anything wrong with David. He loved David as much as he loved his own sons. But he had this problem. He was jealous of him. Jonathan loved David. Saul's son loved David like a brother. But his daddy had a jealous streak. So when you have jealousy, over here it goes through the whole family. And it picks up. And it eventually destroys. Saul was a king. But his jealousy drove him to a place where he lost his kingdom. And he got so low that he asked his cupbearer, the man that would take his swords, his armor bearer, to kill him, and he wouldn't do it. So Saul had to take his own sword and fall upon it and kill himself. That's what jealousy does for you. Jealousy gets you to the point where you don't care about life. You don't care about living. You don't care. You just want to have what other people have got. You can't have what God ordained them to have. I thank God that I don't understand this message. I thank God that H. Richard Hall, before he died, I went to his room, hugged his neck, and felt like a little tiny kid, telling my daddy I loved him. His gifting, his anointing. I am thankful that one of my bishops, Bishop Dixon, took me under his arms. A big black guy just helped me under his arms. When I was 6 months old, he carried me over his arm and preached the gospel. I am thankful they didn't teach me to be jealous. I am thankful that the magnificent power of God has left a definite impact on my life. If you're dating, if you're living, if you're moving with someone that's jealous of every move you make, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. I hear people talking all the time about women, powerful women. You know what a powerful woman is? A powerful woman is a woman who can be herself and still love a mate, and take care of the mate, and help the mate. My wife's not my slave. She's the one I love, and I'm not jealous of her. You'd be shocked at the number of people, just men especially, said, "Here, wife's a beautiful woman. I'm going to do everything I can to take her away from me." I said, "Have your best shot. Have your best shot at it." You know why? I ain't jealous of her. Jealousy is not a sign of love. Some women like to have men fight over them. And some men like to have women fight over them. These are crazy people. They have no sense. They have no sense of direction. They have no carnal mind. They have no spiritual mind. When you find yourself being jealous, well, that guy's got a better ministry than I'm jealous of. You'll never have it. You'll never have a ministry being jealous of it. You'll never have a singing ministry being jealous of it. Whatever you're jealous of, it'll eventually fade from you. It'll fly from you like a bird. You'll never be able to contain it. You'll never be able to obtain it. So I'm saying to you today, get your life straight. Love people. And when you see people that excel, I love Dr. DeBoer, one of my best friends, is a great man of excellence. Everything has to be done exactly right. And I love that. I'm not jealous of him for that. I love that. It helps me. Get away from the jealousy. Get back to the love. Get back to the understanding. Let God be a God to you. And when you find yourself being jealous of people saying, I'm not dying here today. I am not dying here today. Because the moment that jealousy begins, that death will take over. I'm praying for you tonight. I'm praying that God will come into your lives and do special things for you. God, I pray that you lay your hand upon every person I'm listening to. Take every sickness, every evil spirit, every problem. Financially bless, direct. God bless. Send your financial angels out to everyone that's watching me and everyone that will watch. Do your special anointing on us tonight, God. We're asking this in the special name of Jesus. I'm asking you, don't forget our great camp meeting. It's coming up quicker than you think. Make your reservations. You've already got the numbers. You go to my website. Everything's going to be on there. You can go to the website and do it. Don't forget us this week. Our anniversary is coming up. I'd like to do something special for Sister Glenna. Just send us a love offer through PayPal or Post Office Box 28, Mountain City, Tennessee 37683. Do something special. I've never asked this before, but this is 53 years we've been together. So if this ministry has been a blessing to you, you bless us. Help us the very best you can this week, this month. Send us go to our PayPal, John Couch PayPal. It'll pop right up. Go to my website. There's a donate thing almost every page. You can donate. Our website will be full of this information I just gave you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in this great camp meeting next Monday night. I have a very, very, very special treat for you. Please try and be with us. May God bless you. Share this with us. When you get on YouTube, when you put it on your Facebook, wherever you can do it, put it on your timeline for me. I'd appreciate it. May God bless you. Remember this, if God hadn't been with you, you wouldn't have made it this far. May God bless you and may God bless America.